You're feeling pretty good about yourself. You can choose to be a dick about it. Perhaps you started a publication that's doing well. Choose to be a dick about it. It's possible you've been blessed with a good body, a handsome smile, a perfect figure. Rub it in our faces. Society just seems to approve of you. Your business venture has been working out. Glad. Gloat. You're better than us right now. Our pain is not your pain. Your people aren't murdered in the street today. Fair enough. Be a dick about it. This piece is called Lamb's Tongue. I get kicked out of places a lot. Like a lot. Lamb's Tongue.
Slit the throat of a lamb. Listen to her bleat and die. Slowly close fingers round her neck, round one leg. Handprint healing blood laid out across an altar like a blanket. This
is sacrifice.
I'm a poet. Most days I know no one cares. This as it should be.
Care for a dying tree. Sleeping daughter, lungs heaving weak, liver rotten. Care for yourself. As you do.
Our words are not our power. 4 doves on a hill in Ohio fall before rifle fires that cry out for peace. Praying for peace, a man stands before cameras and masses, waiting for the shard he knows will sign his name in blood on balcony.
Hearing no sound but her mother's memory, a woman forces her mouth around the foreign language of her tongue. Killer. It is not our words that are powerful, but what we mean. How hard we mean it.
Whether anybody understands. Understand. Who will speak your mind when they cut your tongue?
Who will speak your name?
July 4th, 1776, words on paper sent out across an ocean, birth of a nation across the back of Africa. 1493, Columbus,
tales of wealth in gold he's never seen, launch an invasion, an armada of disease and greed pours a trail of tears across the Atlantic.
Renaissance Italy, Galileo is jailed for speaking
on the nature of the sun. Ancient Greece,
Socrates drinks hemlock, penance for an honest tongue. Somewhere in Europe, after the fall of Rome, swords and horses seek throats of Arabia to satisfy bloodthirst in a Bible verse.
And righteous riots burst, Third Reich shop windows like shattered hopes on crystal knock to enact the rule of law. Cause y'all,
these sticks and stones can break your bones. The word sends soldiers to your home, cause in the wrong country, speaking the wrong thought, can scar a bullet into the back of your skull, but we're protected by the words of the First Amendment in the Constitution of the United States of America. So I have the right to speak my mind right here, even though on most days I know no one cares.
So I've mostly been a comic for the past month. I've been doing a lot of comedy shows. So I don't have my poems memorized. I hope you forgive me. I got my jokes memorized, but it doesn't seem appropriate. These are some short poems I wrote when I was depressed, which is most of the time. Poem for one of the men who loves my wife. That's the title. He touched her so tenderly, I felt I should give her a pass. Here's another poem. Poem for an old friend of the family. He said drunkenly one night, I waited too long. Real
talk that happened. Another poem. Poem for a bad husband. Should have been better. Now there's no excuse. This last poem is called On Your Tricycle. Not the last one in my set, just the last one in this page of my notes. On Your Tricycle. How am I doing on time? What are we doing? We coming? You all right?
I think we have 15.
15, all right. On your tricycle. It's a metaphor, don't get lost. Hanging out with y'all is like eavesdropping on a date. Tricycle time. This poem I wrote for my mother.
History of a book in the library furnace. I want to find a new story to tell about my mother. How her song some afternoon meant the light in our living room where she curled into herself to find the warmth of someone else's thoughts.
Soft covered, spine bound, and stitched tight to keep it all together and find home in the warmth of an oven which held the bread she baked to feed her family, which always disappointed her, never quite came out how she intended. Cinnamon bread and gingerbread cake, banana bread, French toast. First meal I ever, 9 a.m. Saturday, woke up to make myself and leave the kitchen how I left home without a thought. My mother read to me. Fed me stories, a banquet, a library. I still feel at home in libraries, stuffed with stories, humming quiet in the side of me, waiting to spill. She spoke proper grammar. Good evening, my son. Now allow me to carry you to your crib so you may sleep. No baby talk. Records alphabetized. The Beatles, David Bowie, Tony Braxton, James Brown, Carol Burnett, Irene Cara, The Carpenters, Cat Stevens, Tracy Chapman, Chicago, Eric Clapton, Bill Cosby, Crosby, Stills, Nash, Young Mark, Cohen, John Denver, and Derek, and the Dominoes, Dreamgirls, Bob Dylan. Dozens, hundreds of 33s and 45s. My mother never Sam cooked soul food. I drank soul through stereo speakers warm as the stove crackle of needles scratching wax. How my voice cracked when I told her I loved her, when I held her, when her father died, and she sobbed like I sobbed against the mirror on the wood floor of the empty bedroom that night we left the house on Middle Street. When some pit bull tore into my dog till all life was torn out of her. Cause leaving home is hard, and my mother knew everything dies. Life is hard, sometimes too long, always too short and never fair. But this, my body, is mine. And I don't want to leave it here. I don't want to be a corpse in the dirt and empty body like everybody. Another dead tongue, a still heart. I want to be a language spoken on the lips of anyone who remembers me in this moment. I want to be a record. I want to be a record. I want to be a record. Turn out stories of my blood fam. So when I cut this new track, mark a needle in me and spill out the soul food song of the woman who lent me her voice. I'm a rapist. I write raps. I'll spit one because y'all seem to know something about that. Make some Kendrick Lamar if you like noise. He live in Kim Jong, knock 'em back, ping pong. Godzilla nigga, King Kong. Niggas speak nonsense, hit the charts, cling on. How long a nigga been gone? Called out my name, but it ring wrong, slinging songs. Well, bullets is the ink of a warlord, and our world get more turn up than a floorboard. So they line up, frayed as corduroy, leapt over obstacles, run through them hurdles, boy. Funkier than curdled soy, little death, spurt of joy, flipping words as toys, living flesh and them turds annoyed. Slow down with the turtles' poise, amidst murder and the lord of the lies. Mordor he wrote, lemmings off a cliff with no antidote. Following Antichrist and the Judas goat, wailing on the wall of a Jewish moat. And the Mongols surround thinking General Tso's chicken when our union is federal now. Lincoln held the power ringed in, destined to be a piece of weaponry. Deputy nor the sheriff respecting me, pouring beer out, a picture that expects relief, pouring beer out, a picture that expects relief, extremely peaked from these unseemly people, say something, as the brave hunting, they crave nothing, Other cats came fronting, saved yet they stay wanting savagery. Part from this reverie, unsettled malady, severance wages, meted out hesitantly as a gentle melody sample from the salvage heap. Will we never get free? Proceed to evidence B, can't let us retreat with contempt for irrelevancy. Let it just be, net against gross, adjusted customarily. Ban the Fed, indebted to a card, scan the credit, panic ended, pantomime of valid edit. An unbalanced schedule of several eventuals, inexempt from self-contempt. Health regimen hasn't got us felted yet. Polar ice caps melting bet. We've been dealt a debt. Live and fly, getting higher than a Delta jet. Until hell forget. Alright, rhymes. This is a poem I wrote for my wife right before we got married. It was a crazy night. I won't get into it, but when I met my wife, I was homeless, and she told me, I want you to stop sleeping around, so I showed up at her house with all my stuff, like, I'll sleep here now. And we got married at a bus stop, so for our 1 year anniversary, we had urinal cake. But I wrote this before the wedding. It's called The Never. This is the never. For Amelia. When heart attack climbs out of deep dish sausage. When I have something more perfect to write about. This is for the day I hope I never see you leaning out the window of our studio apartment. I never see you pack those last bags into the cab. This is for the day I don't have to tell my son I still love him, cause I know every day he takes it with his cereal, shits it out in the toilet, sometimes has to wash his underwear twice, sometimes has to clean the mattress. There's too much love. This is for the day Shabazz B doesn't ask me where my mama went. The day I never have to introduce my parents to my children. My father doesn't know my birthday. This is for the loss of bastard. For the final moment. Where I don't have to watch you board a plane with my daughter. This is for walking everywhere and only in traffic. I didn't hear you say goodbye. But if one day goodbye crawls into your ear while we're sleeping, I'm sorry. If one day I didn't hold you tight enough, one day the fire hose goes limp and you realize you can drown in shallow water, I love you. And I'm sorry. There's never anything I've tried to do harder than I'm trying to love you like a wall. Crumbling down, like the force of gravity on a comet in one direction, if I could hold you like a pipe bomb. Thank you.